Coming up, we've got updates on what's been going on around campus since the beginning of the semester.
And we've got stories spanning from San Antonio to across the globe.
All this and more right now on Newswave. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Newswave's first live episode of the spring semester. Today is Friday, February 2nd. I'm Luke McCauley.
And I'm Caleb Reed.
Although Trinity's physical footprint is confined to a 125-acre plot of land, the pursuit of knowledge transcends these borders for almost half of the student body, transforming their educational journey into a global adventure. A significant portion of Trinity's students opt to study abroad at least once during their college years, participating in diverse programs ranging from Madrid to Shanghai, either offered directly by Trinity or through collaborations with external organizations. With the commencement of the spring semester, Trinity aspires for its incoming cohort of international learners to return with enriched global perspectives, a vibrant cultural experience, language exploration, and unforgettable memories. Demi Durham, a junior geoscience major, went abroad last semester and reflected on the unique opportunity studying abroad provided her in a recent Trinitonian article. Durham encourages all students to take this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, stating, quote, "I would highly recommend studying abroad to people because you get to experience other perspectives and ways of life. My biggest takeaway from abroad has to be cherishing my friends more and more, spending more time with people I love."
On the night of January 9th, Trinity students drew displays on campus in support of Palestine. These displays were quickly washed away by facilities on the morning of January 10th, so quickly that students walking to their 8:30 classes could no longer see them. Trinity Administrator Jamie Thompson reported on the removal by asserting that the art was washed away because it violated the university's solicitation and promotion policy. Although these drawings were washed away before most students could see them, they were posted on the Instagram account of San Antonio for Justice in Palestine. Lee Denny, a junior history and BAT double major at Trinity, who participated in the demonstration, said, quote, "A really big thing for our advocacy is to be kind of disruptive in a way and for people to not go back to normal." Kai Velasquez, a junior sociology and urban studies double major, explains that they wanted to use chalk to make this more accessible for students because one major issue of organizing on campus is that, quote, "A lot of students are scared to be the first ones to say something." The members of the group met with Thompson to discuss their actions and how to move forward and continue demonstrating.
With the rapid developments of AI technology, educational possibilities are expanding here at Trinity. Students currently have access to 3 AI-oriented courses, marking a notable increase from the single class available in 2022. In late 2022, user-friendly AI applications emerged and swiftly gained popularity. This popularity was exemplified by the widely used chatbot, ChatGPT, which amassed over 1 million users within a span of 5 days. Within the academic setting, students can now engage in the creation of their own AI chatbots through the course Computer Science 3344, Artificial Intelligence. For non-student STEM students, exploring AI extends beyond the realm of computer science here at Trinity. In conjunction with ComSci 3344, there are 2 specialized communication classes, one focusing on AI representation in media and another dedicated to the exploration and research of AI. Yu Zhang, Department Chair for Computer Science, believes that, quote, "AI with its birth is from the soil of interdisciplinary fields. As long as you're interested in AI, you can join this class because I want my student body to be diverse, and I want people who have different thoughts and different experiences to join the class."
Still up ahead, we've got your local weather update,
along with coverage on what is going on around the state of Texas.
Stick around. We will be right back after the break.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius, and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Welcome back to Newswave. Trinity endured 3 straight days of freezing temperatures last month as a blast of Arctic air swept across most of the United States and Texas. Beginning on January 14th, Trinity students who braved the cold were treated to the site of Miller Fountain frozen and draped with icicles. Despite the beautiful sight, the frigid weather caused complications for Trinity and the larger San Antonio community. Firstly, San Antonio's Martin Luther King Jr. March, an event important to the Trinity community, was canceled due to the low temperatures. In addition, a circuit board failure caused Herndon Hall to briefly lose heat. Jim Baker, Director of Facility Services, stressed the difficulty of preparing campus for freezing temperatures, admitting, quote, "It's the extended time period and the extreme colds that we are not set up for. Nobody is." This was the second time in the last 4 years that Trinity has faced extended periods of freezing temperatures. Despite the recent cold front, the weather this week has been absolutely gorgeous, and up to now, the first weekly weather forecast of the semester with Newswave's Chief Meteorologist Luke Morton.
Speaking of rain, you might need an umbrella if you are heading out tonight, as a line of showers and storms will cross our area due to a cold front passing through. So if you have any Friday plans, be aware that some rain could be possible. The rest of this weekend looks very nice with sunny skies and highs near 70 degrees. Lows should be in the upper 40s to lower 50s, and next week looks to be pleasant as well, with sunny skies prevailing until about Wednesday. Thursday and Friday look to be more cloudy but not rainy. Overall, these next 7 days should be quite pleasant, so get out there and enjoy it. As I mentioned before, today is Groundhog Day, which should give us a sense of whether spring is coming early. Thousands of spectators in Pennsylvania gathered to watch the groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil come out of his burrow. And if there's a shadow visible, that means that there will be 6 more weeks of winter. As of 7:30 this morning, the verdict came in, and Phil did not see his shadow, which means spring is coming early this year. It is important to note that Phil's shadow being visible has no meteorological significance, but is still a very fun tradition that has been around since the late 19th century. That is all I have for today, folks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week.
It is common for universities and higher education to be considered liberal-leaning. However, one Texas school is taking a different approach. West Texas A&M recently unveiled plans for a new center called the Hill Institute. The purpose of the Hill Institute is to promote, quote, panhandle values, which according to the Texas Tribune are Catholic and conservative in nature. The project was spearheaded by University President Walter Windler, who made it a priority to reconnect the university with the Panhandle region. When talking about the Hill Institute, Wendler said, quote, "This fits very nicely into the culture of the Texas Panhandle. It's a tough place, and it's a place that champions conservative values." Wendler's conservative practices have caused controversy on the campus of West Texas A&M. Wendler canceled a drag show planned at the university, causing student uproar, protests, and an impending lawsuit for the violation of free speech. The faculty at West Texas A&M also have major concerns as they gave a vote of no confidence in his leadership as university president. Lisa Garza, a former professor at the university, left after the fall semester, saying, quote, "My fear is that WT is becoming a university where panhandle values is the only perspective you're going to get." Despite Garza's fears, West Texas A&M is moving forward with the Hill Institute, showing their commitment to the conservative values that represent the region.
Recent data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention analyzed by the University of Houston shows that in 2022, Texas women experienced an increase in fertility rates for the first time since 2014. More than 16,000 additional babies were born in Texas from 2021 to 2022, reflecting a 2% increase in the state fertility rate. This growth was driven primarily by Hispanic women, ages 25 to 44, who experienced an 8% bump in 1 year. Although the increase in fertility rates demonstrates the state's population growth, it also may be correlated with a political trend in the Lone Star State. In the fall of 2021, the Texas State Legislature passed the controversial Senate Bill 8, which banned all abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. After the overturn of Roe v. Wade in the summer 2022, Texas pounced on the opportunity to expand the prohibition to all pregnancies from the moment of conception. Consequence of these restrictions was an extreme plummet in the number of abortions that took place statewide, falling from 50,000 in 2021 to 17,000 in 2022, down to just 40 in 2023. According to the Texas Tribune, the data from the CDC reflects a causal relationship between between the recent abortion legislature and the spike in fertility rates, especially among Hispanic women.
After the break, we'll have stories on the continuing legal standoff between Governor Greg Abbott and the President Joe Biden, along with updates on what's been going on in Capitol Hill. All this and more when we come back.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back. Governor Greg Abbott is in a legal standoff with the federal government at the border, and Republicans across the U.S. are standing behind his decisions amidst a constitutional crisis. Last Wednesday, Abbott continued his public campaign to, quote, hold the line against the, quote, invasion Texas is experiencing. This statement came after the Texas National Guard and state troopers continued to prevent federal agents from accessing Shelby Park, which is blocked off from the Rio Grande River by a concertina wire. Abbott claimed that Texas's right to defend itself is, quote, the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. This statement was later condemned by legal scholars, citing its violation of the U.S. Constitution. Nonetheless, former President Donald Trump, as well as U.S. Speaker Mike Johnson and Texas Senator Ted Cruz also weighed in on the issue, backing Abbott's defensive move. Other Republican voices have also shown their support through social media posts, while Democrats in the delegation expressed quite the opposite. This battle for border policies is still ongoing, and we here at Newswave will be sure to keep you posted as we receive more updates.
House Speaker Mike Johnson faces significant challenges with the Republican majority in the House shrinking to just 219 seats, while Democrats control 213. According to CNN.com, this is one of the smallest House majorities in the history of Congress, leaving little room for error in upcoming battles over government funding, immigration, and impeachment. Republicans are down 3 seats, which means that Johnson can only afford to lose 2 votes on any measure. The vacancies include Republican Bill Johnson, who resigned early in January to become president of Youngstown State University, Republican George Santos, who was expelled from Congress in December, and former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who resigned at the end of last year. With these 3 vacancies and potential absences due to health reasons, every member's vote carries immense weight, particularly as hardline conservatives assert influence, often conflicting with more moderate members. The dynamic threatens Johnson's ability to pass legislation and maintain party cohesion, especially as the 2024 national elections loom.
A man by the name of Charles Littlejohn is responsible for stealing and leaking former President Donald Trump's and thousands of the nation's wealthiest people's tax records. Littlejohn leaked this information to 2 news outlets, deleted the documents from his IRS-assigned laptops, and covered his tracks by deleting places where he initially stored the information. Prosecutors highlighted that he went to great lengths to steal these records, even downloading data to an Apple iPod and uploading the information on a private website, which he later deleted. As a result of his actions, at the age of 38, he has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. Judge Anna Reyes highlights the gravity of the crime, referring to it as, quote, an attack on our constitutional democracy. We're talking about someone who pulled off the biggest heist in IRS history. Despite her opinion on the matter, Littlejohn will only be facing 1 felony count. Littlejohn defended his actions by acknowledging the potential consequences, but asserting that, quote, we as a country make the best decisions when we are all properly informed.
Last Sunday, January 28th, 3 U.S. service members were killed and 34 were injured in a drone strike targeting a base in northeast Jordan near the Syrian border. Blame for the attacks has been placed on Iran-backed militias, though no specific group has yet claimed complete responsibility. The drone strike targeted a logistics support base in Jordan known as Tower 22, which is primarily used by American troops in advise and assist capacities. According to an AP News report released later in the week, the drone that struck the base slipped by defenses as it was mistaken for a U.S. drone. After the families of the victims were informed, their names were released to the public early in the afternoon on Monday. The service members killed were identified as Army Reserve soldiers who, according to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, were deployed there to, quote, work for the lasting defeat of ISIS. The soldiers killed were all Georgia natives, including Sergeant William Rivers of Carrollton and Specialists Kennedy Sanders of Waycross and Brianna Moffitt of Savannah. Although Iran has denied responsibility for the strike, the involvement of its affiliates in the attack highlights the possibility of exaggerated involvement of United States military operations in the Middle East. President Biden, while delivering a speech at a Baptist church in South Carolina, offered a moment of silence for the dead soldiers and their families, concluding that, quote, we shall respond.
Stick around for our last segment, where we will catch you up on international news and provide your Trinity Sports update. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong. Because someday in life you will have been all of these. All of us want to do well, but if we do not do good too, then doing well will never be enough.
Welcome back to Newswave. The International Court of Justice has made a decision on South Africa's genocide case against Israel. According to Al Jazeera, in an interim ruling, the ICJ ruled that Israel must take measures to prevent the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Israel has been ordered to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, and in a month's time, will give the ICJ an update on the measures that are being taken to follow the ruling. While the court did not order an immediate ceasefire, many nations have taken a positive outlook on the ruling. This includes Palestine, whose Ministry of Foreign Affairs marked the ruling as a, quote, important reminder that no state is above the law. The nation that brought the case to the ICJ, South Africa, was also pleased with the ruling. Their government called the ruling a, quote, decisive victory for international law. However, South Africa's Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, left the ICJ headquarters frustrated that the court did not enforce a ceasefire. Pandor asked, quote, how do you provide aid and water without a ceasefire? If you read the order, by implication, a ceasefire must happen. Israel declared the ruling was, quote, outrageous and swore to continue to defend itself while following international law. The situation in Gaza continues to evolve, and as it does, we here at Newswave will be sure to keep you updated. As the spring semester gets into full spring, Newswave has your weekly sports update with our sports editor, Caleb Reed. Take it away, Caleb.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Sports. My name is Caleb Reed and let's get started. Starting off with Trinity Basketball, who had a fantastic couple of games last weekend with both the men and women defeating Austin College and the University of Dallas. The games extended win streaks for both teams as they continue to set their sights on the SCAC championship later on this year. The men defeated the Roos 83-64 in Sherman before traveling up to Irving to take down the Crusaders 97-66, while the women won their matches 69-59 and 72-63 respectively. Both teams now go on the road to Kerrville on Tuesday after a weekend off, and they will perform their senior night celebrations on Sunday, February 11th. In addition, women's tennis just had a wonderful day just across the street, defeating Division I UIW 4-3. It was the first time since 2009 that Trinity had defeated their neighbors, had defeated their neighbors across Hildebrand, with the win coming thanks to winning 2 of 3 doubles matches on the day. Meanwhile, on to professional sports now, and the biggest news out of the NFL has been a coaching carousel that has caused a massive 8 new positions to open up across the league. After a wild few weeks, 7 of those positions have been filled. Well, make it 8 now, as the Washington Commanders, who were the only ones left to decide who would don the headset in 2021, just hired Dan Quinn. Washington let go of Ron Rivera, who was let go after a disappointing 4-13 season, and just yesterday was replaced with former Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. Another coach let go was Mike Vrabel, who has been replaced in Tennessee after a similarly disappointing year. Both of them are currently unemployed, as is a stunning release of Bill Belichick. The coach of the Patriots for 24 years, Belichick interviewed for the head coaching position in Atlanta after Arthur Smith was fired. Smith turns to Pittsburgh to become their new offensive coordinator, but that is not all for the surprises. Pete Carroll, the longtime Seattle Seahawks head coach, was moved to an executive role, but there are many questions regarding both of their futures in the league. In motorsports, there's been a lot of news in a couple of different sports. Firstly, in IMSA, the 24 Hours of Daytona took place last weekend from Saturday until Sunday, kicking off the new year of racing with one of the most anticipated events on the calendar. It was a tough showing for the American teams, as Corvette saw both of their factory entries suffer issues at around 4 in the morning. In addition, the Mustang entries struggled in their endurance racing debut, struggling due to a combination of mechanical difficulties and harsh balance of performance, or otherwise known as BOP, after qualifying. The race saw controversy in the final stages as the checkered flag was displayed a lap early due to a mistake in officiating. In F1, there's been even more controversy surrounding a matter very close to home. Andretti Motorsports, one of the most well-known brands in all of racing, was rejected from joining the sport on Wednesday after a debate that has lasted well over a year now. F1 said that Andretti did not, quote, bring value to the sport and that they wouldn't be competitive despite a wealth of evidence that the team was willing to invest in success. The decision drew outrage from the racing community, with drivers from IndyCar, NASCAR, and even sports car racing all expressing their disappointment on social media. One of the loudest voices was former Australian V8 Supercars champion and current IndyCar driver Scott McLaughlin, who said, quote, a racing series wants to expand in America, but won't allow any American teams in it, end quote. Another point was raised by IndyCar analyst Dave Moody in 2022, who said they want U.S. dollars, not U.S. drivers, in response to American driver Colton Herta not being granted a super license to be able to drive an F1. That's it for me. I hope that all of y'all have a great weekend, and make sure to take care.
In a daring act of protest, activists from the food security group Food Response splattered the glass-covered Mona Lisa with soup. This past Sunday, 2 women identified as Sasha and Marie Juliette unleashed a soup-splattering spectacle on the famous Leonardo da Vinci painting at around 10 a.m. The act was captured in a video posted online, showcasing streaks of orange on the bulletproof glass. The protesters, standing on either side of the artwork, called for the integration of food into the Social Security system. Food Response emphasized the dire issue of food insecurity in France, revealing that 1 in 3 people skip meals due to financial constraints, while 20% of produced food is wasted. The group criticized the profitability of the French agriculture and food industry, attributing excessive profits of 2/3 of inflation. Furthermore, they argued against European free trade treaties, claiming they create unfair conditions for French growers compared to foreign products lacking ecological and social standards. Highlighting the environmental impact, the group connected agriculture to 21% of national greenhouse gas emissions and substantial contributions to biodiversity deterioration and soil impoverishment due to excessive inputs. As museum staff rushed to shield the painting, the protest ignited a conversation on social, economic, and environmental issues.
In a groundbreaking moment for marine biology, wildlife photographer Carlos Gana has captured what is believed to be the first footage of a newborn great white shark moments after its birth near the shores of Santa Barbara, California. This rare sighting challenges the long-standing belief that great whites give birth only in deep waters. Gana's discovery, made with the help of UC Riverside biology doctoral student Philip Stearns, offers a glimpse into the mysterious birthing habits of these apex predators, known to have over a year-long pregnancy. The footage showcasing a tiny shark shedding has been peer-reviewed and published, sparking excitement among scientists and conservationists. This finding not only contributes to our understanding of great white sharks, but also underscores the importance of coastal areas as potential birthing sites. Gana's work, driven by a lifelong fascination with sharks, emphasizes the critical need for further research and protection of these majestic creatures.
That is all the time we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Newswave's first live episode of the spring semester.
Our next episode will air next week on Friday, February 9th at about 3 p.m. Until then, I'm Caleb Reed.
And I'm Luke McCauley. We'll see you next time.
Woo.